All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this match within the Super Metroid Item Randomizer League. We've got a really cool one here today. We've got Mr. Fox representing Team 3 versus Toasty representing the Golden Shower. And I'm joined here by Antinomy. How you doing?
Very well, thank you very much, Glove. Thank you for having me. Welcome everybody. Yep, it's gonna be an exciting one this early, and we'll see what happens. It's Boss Rando, and maybe we get 4 Ridleys. And I'm just kidding. That's not how it works. But imagine.
Yeah. I wish we could get 4 Ridleys. I don't. That would be miserable.
Yeah, I hope they would get 4 Ridleys. Maybe not me personally, but them. I think that's a good trade-off there.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you have not seen any of the previous matches, this is Boss Rando. So the locations of the bosses have all been swapped around. And sort of one of the most notable effects you're going to see is first, you're actually going to see a couple of saves from our runners. But second, stuff like Wrecked Ship doesn't get open until you defeat Fantoon. So if Fantoon is in Lower Norfair, then you can't go to Wrecked Ship and check all those items until you've gone to Lower Norfair. It is major minor split, so we're not we're not expecting our runners to run around checking every single item location.
Yeah,
All right,
no.
looks like
Thankfully.
we are off.
So good luck to Toasty and to Fox. Um, yeah, I'm just glad that it's not like a full rando. Like the possibilities are endless with randomizers. We've had
Mhm.
like boss, we've had area, we've had world, we've had just major minor, we've had all sorts of things. And I think that's a pretty cool thing that the league's been able to highlight is just the variety that Super Metroid has going on. There's still some that need, I would say, like some reworks here and there, but overall, I think it's kept it interesting enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think overall, sort of this format with varying weeks has put a lot of neat stuff on Showcase. And I do think that this boss rando week is really one of those love it or hate it weeks. Like, it doesn't seem like it would change that much, but it can make your seeds drastically different.
Oh, indeed. You've participated in a league before, right?
This is
Club
my first year, actually.
first. Oh, okay. But you've had like experience with several of these randomizers or not?
Yeah, I mean, I've run this year. I've done SMRAT. I did SMRAT this year as well as like the Speed Gaming Live event. Uh, Plus, I do like the Varia async weeklies, so I've seen some settings. And you can find some really cool stuff, I think, with the Varia randomizer.
Yeah, that you can. It's, I like the whole overhaul that they've been able to do, especially over
Hmm.
the past few years. It's come a long way.
Absolutely, and we see our players for their second major item. The Spazer Beam is an item that can be nice to find early on. Like, especially if you have charge and you're not expecting to ever find plasma, the added bit of damage can be useful.
Yeah, but very early on. If you could abandon it whenever you can, please do. I mean, I like the wideness of that beam. It can definitely
Hmm.
hit for like a lot. Um,
Yeah, I like
I know it can be
Spazer. I
very
like it if I'm
casual
doing
fun.
Suitless Meridia. It
Yeah,
can make freezing enemies easier compared to Plasma, which very easily double hits. All right, and we have two power bomb packs at this point, or excuse me, three power bomb packs at this point, but notably no supers. We've seen a couple of seeds with some really interesting ammo spreads.
yeah. So far, this one, it's scary when you don't see super missiles early on. Just given how boss randos tend to go.
Hmm.
A big worry is that they're hidden behind well, that they're hidden behind Sports Spawn or at Billy Mays, and you have to like run around the whole planet looking for them, or even behind Gauntlet. And I don't know. I mean, what would you say the play is here, considering boss randomizer? Like, would you opt to make that Gauntlet check?
So, for me personally, I just always like doing Gauntlet if I can. Sometimes I don't think it's correct at all, but I think even though you can't find a suit in Gauntlet, um, at this point especially, our runners they have one E tank now, so Gauntlet is certainly not easy, but I think a lot more manageable with that one E tank. And you could find some nice stuff here. You could find Ice Beam, you could find Speed Booster, High Jump Boots. Um, and I think especially when you add that on to an additional chance to get two super like two checks for a super pack. I
Right.
really like the gauntlet play, especially since wrecked ship is pretty bad early in boss rando, so our players aren't going to be coming up here very likely.
Oh, that's actually, yeah, a very interesting decision there. Now, yeah, should the it looks like none of the runners are gonna skip Gauntlet. It makes sense, you know.
Hmm.
You have the ammo for it. Might as well go for it. Might as well check it, at least, because you never know. But should they have opted to, they also have the ability to even check the items behind Gauntlet, you know, in case they want that information.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind of like carrying this gauntlet through. Like, you're going that way anyway, so resetting and just running through criteria isn't a big time save anyway. So, if, like, I don't think you should necessarily bet on a sort of mean seed with regards to super placement, but you might as well check it.
Yeah, I used to be like quite partial to Gauntlet, but this is, oh, you see, like this.
Mm,
Actually, this is a very good find here at Gauntlet.
yeah, and that Spazer beam could not look more awkward right now.
That's exactly why. It's like a huge slap in the face to Spazer that I think I celebrate this find.
Yeah.
Now, like you mentioned earlier, like should they find, you know, should the seed make them go suitless Meridia for whatever reason, um, you might see them turn that off and maybe swap to like if they find Wave or obviously Spazer,
Hmm.
they could go for that. Oh no, Fox.
Oh, this is just tragic. I mean, at this point, Fox has to be praying, hope against hope, that his first supers are like vanilla early supers or something, because this could be just huge.
Right. Now on top of that, I think he's also opted to skip on here on Terminator, so he's not gonna be finding bombs
Hmm.
unless he backtracks and ends up heading back this direction. But by the looks of it, he's forgotten Terminator, and if he has to go get these super missiles on the way back, he's gonna end up missing them.
Yeah, now I have to imagine that's just like a temporary lapse in judgment on his part. Like, you always want to check Terminator. It's a major item location. It's two-door transitions, and that's it basically.
Right? I feel like every single time that there's a major item right next door, um, it's worth going for. Uh, unless you, obviously, unless you are stacked and you feel like you have it all. Oh, okay. Thank goodness. So, not necessary to backtrack. He will be missing out on those bombs, though. He'll probably pick them up on his way to G4.
Yeah, those bombs, they might just feel like a slap in the face.
I know it hits pretty hard when you bump into like the sixth reserve tank on your way to G4, and you're like, oh, you know, this could have been something very, very useful, but thankfully it was just a reserve tank.
Yeah. Now, um, Reserve tank is somewhat known as the Kappa tank. A bit of an unfortunate find. I do think one reserve is nice to have. There's some neat stuff you can do with it.
Fox accidentally jumping a little too early, so
Oof.
so he fell down and will have to pick up unless Fox also decides to bail on the grapple, but I wouldn't see why because it also makes open the X-ray check, or at least a little bit easier.
Yeah, I would 100% get that grapple here. Like even and I'm somebody who, I'll always go for the X-ray D boost, but having a way to kill Dragon, if it comes to it, a way to get into Shack Tool, like grapple has a lot of sort of niche uses that it can really come back to bite you.
Right. I mean, I think the logic could also put wreck ship first, right? Like, should they not? Because it won't make
Yeah,
you find. It won't make you horizontal bomb jump.
it
So,
it can require continuous wall jump.
oh, you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I see that actually come into play. Like, odds are, if progression is in wrecked ship, then some kind of movement item to make it easier is somewhere else. Either speed or even just like spring ball.
Yeah. Right. That makes sense. It's usually some sort of utility. I like
Uh,
Toasty's usage of
yeah,
grapple there.
it,
Actually, wow.
it was an interesting strategy. I'm not actually sure if it was faster to do it that way. It was cool though.
Yeah. Now I'm like really interested because people tend to just wall jump on their way to check that minor item. More E-tanks.
Hmm.
It's not a bad thing, especially because there could be a lot of deaths early on. Then, as soon as you find your fursuit, usually it tends to ease up on the difficulty.
Yeah, I think there are definitely some certain boss rando seeds where you even want to be thinking about, okay, do I have enough E-tanks to where I could kill Ridley with this loadout, even if I don't have Varia? Especially if somebody is more practiced with something like RBO.
Right. Um, because, yeah, I mean, just typically what you'll see the runners do is they'll end up saving right before every boss. Whatever
Hmm.
save station happens to be before a boss, they will go for it. In the case that it happens to be like Dragon suitless, Ridley suitless, Fantoon and Kraid shouldn't be a problem, but still, like being able to take out boss priority is definitely 100% the play. Um, Even just having that info would be very valuable.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think the play is here then? To go down or to go up?
I don't
Like for
I
you
don't
personally,
personally care for
obviously.
going down. I don't care for going up in boss rando most of the time. Like I think you can go check Kraid, at the very least see what that boss is. You have about a 50% chance of killing the boss there, if it's Kraid or Fantoon.
Right.
If it's Kraid, great, you have the Kraid locations. If it's Fantoon, then you can just go up to wreck ship. Otherwise, it gets a little bit awkward. Oh, and Toasty's skipping that E-tank. I don't know about that. Like,
Me.
I'm seeing hell runs in these runners' futures.
I
Eh,
mean, Toasty is a seasoned veteran to these, and
It's
Toasty
true.
Toasty can do it all. I know he shines when it comes to rando races. Like
Oh yeah,
I'd honestly
absolutely.
be the first to tell you. So he would be second. I'm just kidding. I think what Fox is doing is realizing that he wants to get the item that's a Terminator, fear of missing out,
Hmm.
and is gonna go for wreck ship early.
Yeah, it's possible. So I honestly don't think that this is that bad. Like Fox. probably knows. Like you just said, Toasty really shines in Rando. Ooh, that's gonna hurt Fox. He's not gonna get that ice beam for a minute. Or oh no,
Well,
Fox is just going back down actually.
I think he just realizing that
Yeah.
he had forgotten Terminator just in case. But okay, okay.
Mhm. Yeah. I kind of wish that Fox had made sort of a little bit of a meta play and gambled that early wrecked ship check.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Toasty is a very skilled runner, and so is Fox. Like absolutely. Um, but Toasty just knows the ins and outs of Rando. So at first I thought Fox was making sort of a heads up play of like, okay, there's no way that Toasty goes up here. Maybe I can get a huge advantage.
Yeah, going up against someone formidable like Toasty, I would probably end up making some out of the ordinary plays, just considering my opponent. But still, though, neither you can't really know honestly. What's a good or bad decision. Like that's not
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
point is. It's pretty much just kind of feeling out the rando, see where it takes you, and do whatever you feel comfortable with.
And shoutouts to Toasty for remembering to save. Uh, Ridley at crate location has taken countless lives.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, let's see what we got.
Behind boss door number 1.
And it's vanilla.
So this is pretty convenient, because having Kraid be the boss here will open the Kraid E-Tank location.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no need to double dip into Kraid's lair.
All right, Toasty goes for the super crate quick kill. Very nicely executed.
Oh, wow.
Ice and speed booster early. This seed is being very kind so far. I don't want to say anything before we found either suit though. And okay, I wasn't a fan of Toasty skipping that E-Tank. I'm really not a fan of Fox skipping it. 3 E-Tank hell runs are really scary.
Yeah, as it stands, depending on what's that Kraid E-Tank, if it's vanilla Kraid E-Tank, and whatever, happens to be at high jump as well, some of these hack runs are gonna be a little interesting. Even though like they're gonna get speed boosters, so they could go,
Mhm.
like ice is not gonna be something to worry about. But still,
Yeah.
the check into the Norfair Reserve and even just the double chamber check is a little frightening.
Yeah, like the wave hell run is deceptively difficult, honestly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like I know a lot of people, like when you're first learning something like RBO, a lot of people will recommend doing speed and then taking a save before wave because it can be really hard, and like if you make one mistake, you accidentally hit the spikes or whatever, suddenly you're out 60 energy.
Yeah, that's the most difficult part.
Mhm. Our runners do have enough ammo to crystal flash here, so that is relevant if they can remember.
Yeah, they could bail out the runner sometimes too. I know I've used it, just for the sake of being able to not waste some time farming.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see if we see Fox here save.
Yeah, so to answer a question in chat, Crystal Flash recovers health at the expense of your ammo. So you lay a power bomb, do certain inputs, L, R, X, or shoot and down, and it consumes 10 of each ammo type. So 11 power bombs in total, 10 missiles, 10 supers, and it refills your health, including your reserves. So it's very useful. There are some really nifty tricks you can actually use to clip into areas you're not supposed to be able to get. We won't see those in this run because our runners already have speed and ice. They have options for Bot's Wound.
Toasty is dipping here. I'm pretty sure he saved though. In case this isn't something that he wants, he could just easily reset.
Yeah, and that was a really smart, quick decision to lay that power bomb there. I think that shows some real experience on his part. Like it almost sounds silly to say, but like shooting your beam up that chamber there is really hard.
Oh, I mean, honestly, yeah, especially considering that they're not turning off ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would. I keep forgetting because I'm used to vanilla speedrunning this game, so I would just shoot the beam, and I end up like with a regular power shot, and it's like, okay, well, that's not gonna be worth it.
Yeah,
But the
yeah. If you
power
don't have
bomb thing,
wave, it keeps like getting stuck on the blocks.
yeah. Also, just to make note, Fox was also able to fell Kraid, and should be heading down to check out whatever's at Kraid's E-Tank, which is another great E-Tank. So we'll see what the play is going to be for Fox. I'm almost positive, though, that since he's down here, he's going to end up following whatever Toasty's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe Toasty's just farming here. Although he like if you're going to Croc, you don't want to farm this much.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of an interesting decision he's making though, to farm here as opposed to at speed. I
Yeah, I
wonder,
wonder.
like, is he gonna try and check Norfair Reserve on this health? Because that's a pretty rough check. Or maybe he does wave, then exits out, does the farm at speed, checks speed, farms a little bit to get out.
Maybe it's just a little bit safer to farm at that location because I think what's usually troubling about farming at right before speed is getting knocked into the lava or yeah, and then having that be a hex show. But it looks like okay, yeah, doing what you called right now.
This is gonna be close. Norfair Reserve check is really hard.
It is too.
And Toasty hasn't saved for a while, not since before ice.
I assume he's going to be taking this room pretty slow, at least to kill all the enemies, because it's not worth getting knocked down.
Yeah, that's true. He does have CF ammo. It's still gonna be awkward. I wonder, does he manually? Oh, spring ball. So, does Toasty manually refill his reserves here? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
I think it makes sense for Toasty to do so, just because you can
Uh-oh.
die. Oh no! No!
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, Crystal Flash is very picky about both your X position and your Y position. So if you get hit with an enemy like that,
Yeah, you get like even just the slightest. I'm pretty sure it's pixel perfect, if anything.
all right, and
It's
he
okay.
is, yeah, he is going back for ice. I'm trying to remember, what was that ice?
High jump.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So
Subpixel perfect, really? Does that affect CF clip?
I believe it does. So I just realized that since Fox didn't go for the ice check, he's gonna have to bomb jump. He could also run. Oh, we're gonna have a swaggy bomb jump there.
Aw.
It was worth the attempt.
Fox has a couple different options here. He can go for something sort of like ice climbers, but modified for high jump lists to get up there. You can bomb jump. You could go for the frame perfect, pixel perfect wall jump if you really want. I forget if this is possible. This grapple. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, so ice climbers is where you freeze the enemies that are flying through the room, and you climb up on them. Yeah, see, sort of like Mr. Fox is doing right now. Yeah, ice climber specifically refers to like if you've ever seen like the way that Kip will do Bubble Mountain, that's ice climbers.
Yeah, I was I knew it. I knew that there's two variations. I know that there's ice stairs, and then there's the two cat method.
Hmm.
That I will always just call the two cat method. So Toasty, I guess, did end up committing to the croc check.
Mm.
Maybe just because of the death.
Yeah, this could be big for Fox if something good is at speed. Fox is unfortunately losing a bit of time to grapple farming these guys. It's a bit slower. Not too big a deal though. Yeah, nothing at Ridley so far. Oh, and that wave beam is nice. If we can find a charge, then I don't expect our runners to pick up or even check any other ammo. Toasty gets a spike suit off Croc. Nicely done. Where will he use that?
He will use it right in this room. When he tries to spark to the left, he'll accidentally spark upwards, and no, just kidding. Obviously, we know he's going to use it to spark right into Lower Norfair elevator.
I
Beautiful.
think you might have called it there.
Yeah, it's I remember seen him do it in a race before, and I just thought it was like the niftiest thing. Now, did want to make mention of something else, but I just ended up getting distracted. Oh, right. Since Fox ended up finding Wave, that does make Double Chamber a little bit easier, considering that he has Grapple. It won't be as messy. He could just Wave Beam on the opposite side of the gate, and all he has to do is just not fall over. Oh no,
Yeah,
Croc.
ooh, Croc, nothing good today. I understand why Toasty decided to check it. Unfortunately, it just put him further behind in a situation where he really wasn't behind.
Yeah, it's hard to know,
Hmm.
but sometimes like a death can actually make you uh, play a little bit different or adjust your playstyle.
Hmm. Yeah. If nothing else, honestly, like even if you want to take the same strategy, if you take a death, that's weighing on your mind for the remainder of the race.
It really is, yeah, because oh, okay, this is a pretty good move here for Fox.
Yeah, I like this save a lot.
Now, I know that we mentioned at the beginning, what's the play usually? Uh, Up red tower first or down red tower first? And I I will personally always go down red tower,
Hmm.
but from what I've seen, especially it's pretty evenly mixed. Um, I feel like anything can honestly happen. It's really just like what your hunch is on what you might find going either up or down. And yeah, like right now it's looking like Norfair is just not it. Obviously they got high jump and they got ice,
Hmm.
so that's good. Speed booster behind Crate, I believe, was it?
That sounds right, somewhere around there.
But but if there is like access to a suit early, you'll never know. Like you could also like at Fantoon, or excuse me, at Wreck Ship, it could also like really influence what happens. Also, even going to Waterway
Hmm.
might make for some interesting decision making.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's a terrible decision to like You go back, you check waterway, and then you climb back up Retro Bryn in order to get to Wreck Ship. Like, I don't think that's bad at all.
Well, with that, it looks like Fox just does not. It never feels good to double dip on Norfair.
Mm-hmm. I'm quite surprised that Toasty went back for that Spring Ball. Spring Ball is a great item, like, to be clear, but when you already have bombs and high jump, it loses a lot of its appeal.
My only guess for the Spring Ball grab is Toasty is definitely prepared for a suitless.
Oh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, what is true is, like in the vanilla game, you don't need Spring Ball obviously for Suitless Meridia. In Boss Rando specifically, if Dragon's not there, how are you getting out of Precious Room?
Right, exactly. Normally, it's really just Precious Room, unless like Kraid is, which we know it isn't, but unless Kraid is over at Meridia, and you have like that
Yeah,
info, you have speed booster, you can short charge your way out.
yeah. Uh, a funny thing that you could do if you really wanted to is you could go somewhere like Kraid's Lair, grab a spike suit, to carry that spike suit all the way through Meridia, and then use that to spark out.
I think
I
that's.
wouldn't make that bet though.
It looks like Fox might be making that bet. He's going to be carrying this all the way through Meridia, actually through the entire game until he feels like he can spark right out of Precious Room. I think
Yeah,
Toasty had it too.
mhm.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
No, I bet this spike suit is he's gonna use it for Spark Baby Skip.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Or even like the left side spark over at the climb after the Mother Brain fight. The
Yeah.
very frame perfect, yeah.
Hey, Spark Baby Skip is really fun. I've been practicing it for Eternal Spike Suit hack. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I being able to do that skip is really good. It just feels super nice. Oh, that's an interesting strat there for Fox.
hmm Yeah, you can just jump there, and as long as you have the blue echoes, you'll make it. If Fox had used his grapple, he could have gotten an extra drop out of it, and I think those guys will basically always drop supers if they can. Now, Toasty's going to be leaving Norfair shortly. Here's the question. Does he make the gamble on Suitless Meridia, or does he just go straight to Wreck Ship?
um that's a very good question there. I would think because Suitless Meridians would still be slow and not necessarily forced.
hmm
No, but maybe he could clear out something good. I mean, the mobility is there. It wouldn't be as slow as we would think. Maybe the checks on items like Mama Turtle, for example.
Yeah, Toasty has
That
that
would be kind
spring
of slow.
ball. Uh, I'm not I'm not sure how familiar is Toasty is with Suitless Meridia. I have to imagine quite comfy. But if you have ice and spring ball, you can actually use a shortcut to skip the main street climb entirely, pretty much.
Right. Um, I, f- I feel like Meridi would be the play if you only have a boss to kill.
hmm
Because with so many checks still at large and like maybe gravity being at oh
Yeah. What if you wanted to Alpha Spark, but God said straight up?
if the Chozos will come true. That was a pretty funny spark. It's like no hesitation. It's just no, we're going.
All right,
We're going
Fox
up.
is getting these high jump boots. I like this.
Right. So it would have this would have been like very, very useful much earlier, but it's quite alright. As long as he gets it now, that's
Hmm.
really what matters.
Yeah, I'm sure Fox is kicking himself, but like you're still fine. Like genuinely, if our players make different decisions here, this is still anyone's game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. It wouldn't surprise me to see if Fox ends up going for the Slotus refill. Would be much safer. Let's
Hmm.
see what's that waterway though for Toasty, and if it pays off. Because Fox can very well still make up some time by skipping this check on Toasty if it's not worth. And it is.
Wow.
Yep, paid off. So what do you gather would be the thing to go for next? Because you still have no info, on where Ridley is. Ridley could be at Wreck Ship or at Meridia.
So I believe Toasty has three reserves here, and this is truly all personal preference. Like, how comfortable do you feel with the Ridley fight? Like, if I have screw attack at this point, I think you can take down Ridley for sure if you know how to do the infinite pogo manip. It's I don't want to say easy because that's not right. It's pretty it's pretty difficult actually, but it's like a pretty linear strategy. However, without screw attack, that fight does get a lot harder.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like Toasty, just because there are more checks, more possibilities in Meridia.
Hmm.
I feel like that would make sense to me. Now, you still don't know where Varia is, and maybe Fox ends up finding it. Whatever is, depending on whatever boss is over here, and if there's an item hidden behind that boss. Um, it would require Fox to have to fight Dragon suitless, or Ridley suitless as well in order to get an item, because finding a vanilla Fantoon, it's not well. I mean, it could open all of Wreck Ship too, so it's quite a bank.
Yeah, I. Oh,
Oh,
oh no.
well, whew.
Yeah, at this point, Toasty, he can't quite go mode yet. Once he finds charge or a bit more ammo, he can go mode this. Like one more missile pack and four more super packs does it, but just barely.
Right,
And if you get another super pack on top of that, you feel comfortable with it.
for sure.
Now, at this point, Toasty just wants to go down. I like this.
Me too. I would probably do this as well.
Yeah, I think the only situation in which I would continue onward in Meridia is if Varia is somewhere like Botswoon E. Like at that point, you're already in the Dragon general area. Ooh, and there's Ridley. Uh,
Yeah,
Mr. Fox is just gonna reset that. No way to go through that. With six,
that's-
like with perfect execution, you can't do it with six supers.
even then that would be. I mean, yeah, no, at all. Just no charge beam
Hmm.
to deal more damage. At least this will point Fox to Waterway. So Fox will be picking up Gravity and Varia right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Toasty made the right decisions here, and at this point, save something pretty tragic happening on Toasty's side, there's just not a lot that Fox can do to catch up.
Yeah, so don't blow it, Toasty, all right? All eyes are watching, no pressure.
Yeah, I mean we saw Toasty farmed up to a pretty healthy range.
Yeah, I mean, what I really like about Toasty's situation right now is, like you said, the fact that he farmed up put him in a very good, very good health
Hmm.
position, and the ammo is just looking, uh, just really good. Should he find Ridley, which we know right now is that wreck ship, um, I figure that he'll maintain that ammo anyway, and make for a really quick fight on Ridley.
Yeah, I wouldn't check GT here.
No, there's just no reason to. It's not.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments where I have said before, earlier today, that if there's a major item right next door, like literally right next door, um, those are the ones that you check, especially if you're looking something like for charge. Otherwise, like minor items that you'll be on the lookout for are probably the ones that are not out of the way or happen to be in the same room. And I know Toasty can rat those in extremely well.
Yeah. I think it does become the question of which minor item locations does Toasty want to check? Like how liberal will he be with those checks? 'Cause at this point he can't beat the game. And he's still a fair bit of a ways off.
Yeah, maybe just one missile pack and then the 5 super packs is normally like what you see runners try to aim for. But there's
Yeah.
variants. Obviously, there's the number
Yeah,
3.
I kind of like picking up any missiles I find here, just like, at if I can get to kill Mother Brain ammo in the fewest checks possible, that's kind of what I want.
Hmm. And I think Toasty's very well in the position to do it because there is this check right here.
Hmm.
The PB's a shame. He has plenty in Aqueduct. If he wants to short charge for ammo in Main Street, Precious Room, even escaping out of Lower Norfair, I feel like there's an abundance of ammo that are just so in the way and wouldn't really cost him any time.
Alright, and Toasty does not go for speed kill here. Maybe he's being a bit cognizant of his health.
Yeah, I feel like Super is 3 each. It's just not as complicated.
Hmm.
I do very much prefer supering them, but for the sake of speed, if I have it, I would have to resort to sparking. And well, here's Dre, by the way. And here's the Varia suit.
Yeah, so this means if Toasty really wants to, so Toasty has options here. Toasty can choose whether he wants to fight Botswoon now, or whether he just wants to go reverse Cack Alley.
Excellent grillage on the shrimp. Nice job, Toasty.
I mean, Toasty, because of this, Toasty could also choose to check Plasma. I certainly don't expect that, though. That's a very long check.
Yeah, that too. E-Tank. He wants it? Well, it is Lower Norfair Escape, so...
Yeah, I like the E-Tank just for the health refill here.
Yep.
And I sort of, like, my personal philosophy is, if you are thinking about whether you want to pick up an item, just pick it up. Like, I've had times where it's like, if I had just picked up the item, I wouldn't have spent 10 seconds deliberating about it.
That too. I've been thinking about that with concerns to the X-ray grab. We saw both runners opt out of it, but I feel like I might as well just grab it, especially when it's super early. Ooh, Fox
Ooh,
with the find here on charge.
there's no way that Toasty gets that.
Yeah, no, this is out of the way. Even though, okay, yeah, actually, it is out of the way. I would say just because there's just no need for Toasty to head down Meridia when he means to go up, and
I guess what you could do if you wanted to is you could like fall down Sandpit on the way to get out of Meridia to go over to Red Tower to go up to Fantoon.
yeah, but
It's awkward.
it would feel really, really odd to me, so, especially when you are pretty much go mode, except for your ammo, of course. So it looks like, yeah, Toasty is making the plays to check every major item that happens to be in the way. This one makes sense, and then is going to be grabbing the minor items that are also on the way. Hopefully, he doesn't need to be checking for a lot of minor items, or like if the minor items he does bump into are just are super missiles, that would very well be in his favor.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's
Ooh.
one back.
Yeah.
Yeah, one down. 3, ideally 4 to go. Like you really don't want to refill after doors. It's just so slow. But you can run into a situation in which it's better to just commit to refilling after shooting out all the doors in Turian, compared to making a bunch of extra checks. Yeah, and we see here Toasty's close enough that he's willing to just don't be a hero, pick up the missiles.
Yeah.
Ooh, having a bit of trouble with 3 musketeers.
Using
plasma is deceptively difficult there.
It is. Hitboxing him is can't trick you. It's a good thing he got that refill.
Yeah. Also, Fox made quick work of Bot's wound there, using that newly found charge beam. That didn't look good. Yeah.
It's a tough strat to get full halfy anyway. Like,
Yeah,
that's my weakest strat, personally.
Yeah, I think like it can be difficult sometimes, but I think important to know when you should bail on it. I think there it would have been fine if he had gotten the down grab, but it's just so hard to make those decisions quickly.
Okay, with Fantoon here. Yeah, well, I mean, Fox has Varia, so I don't really expect Fox to go up to wreck ship. For anything else, actually. There's nothing more that he's going to want.
Yeah, literally the only thing that could help Fox here would be screw attack, and that's not worth searching around for, especially when you already have plasma. Space would be nice too for lower warfare, but like either of those are not worth making really any checks for, in my opinion, at this point. Screw up Bot's an E-Tank, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So then you could get that on the way out before going down.
Yeah, I mean, I would. It's right there, and like, odds are it will save you more than 10 seconds, or even if it doesn't, it gives you more than 10 seconds peace of mind. That was a little bit rough there on Fantoon. One more round. Yeah,
right,
Fox could have taken down Fantoon with like I think he might have ice turned on, but with full beam, you can do 4 missiles, charge shot, 3 missiles, charge shot.
I mean, that's the thing about these randomizers is that you play on the fly. There's a lot of info that is not normally info that you would know like in the vanilla game.
Yeah,
Just only figuring out playing like numerous randomizers. It's really tough to know it all.
absolutely. Like
Um,
how many runners do we have that run any percent and hundo and RBO and GT Classic
yeah,
and all these other categories where this random stuff would be useful?
exactly. Yeah. So like it's I wouldn't expect everyone to really know all that much, but thankfully the info is out there. They do it for next time. It definitely helps to rewatch so that they can kind of see what they can work on as well. The info given
Hmm.
through commentary or through chat is also very, very useful. As long as you're not like bashing on like the decisions that they make, I think everyone just always has like room for growth, and I think that's what's it's like incredible about this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I personally I learned not just randos, but I learned how to play Super Metroid by watching those 2017 rando tournament VODs. Like I think Randomizer can build a really solid foundation for you.
Yeah, I would say so too. I know Punk. Uh, that's how he got his start. Just experimenting with a lot of randomizer and
Hmm.
just making himself also a pillar of the community by participating and like experimenting with different strats. Um, Everyone has their start somewhere, and I know you end up learning. It's a process.
Absolutely. Every time I watch this game, I learn something. All right, and I believe that was a 3 round there for Toasty.
Yeah, still fast.
Hmm.
Better than 5 Supers Fantoon. So if you have that to compare to,
That's how Nintendo Power told me to beat him, though.
yeah, but Nintendo Power. I feel like that was honestly like an April Fool's joke to get people to actually go slower. It's like, oh, you want to go faster? How about do all of this stuff out of order? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So charge was left sandpit. Ooh. Oh, beautiful conversion.
Oh, incredible for Fox.
Nicely done.
So you see, Fox has like the ability, the tech.
Hmm.
If you're not used to randomizers, yeah, it's going to be a little tough, but being able to perform and to execute just like that,
Yeah. And
it's always nice to see.
yeah, I would like to say because Lava Spark is a trick that's somewhat uncommon to like perform unless you run new route specifically. That trick is way harder than it looks because you specifically have to get the spark as you're falling off of the edge.
Yeah, all right. It's very interesting timing to
Hmm.
get that.
Yeah, that screw attack, and we already see how much easier that screw attack is making Lower Norfair. Like I feel like it almost pays for itself in worst room in the game.
It really does. Yeah, just not having to deal with pirates is just it's probably like the greatest feeling, honestly, when you're down in Lower Norfair.
Oh, is Mr. Fox going for the spark here? Ooh.
Even got the spark, kind of similar to doing the lava spark,
Hmm.
which is also like really tough to do. Oh, that's a really good jump there for Toasty. It wasn't necessary because he could just run under the water.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it's worth it with Screw or Plasma for that matter, but it's cool. Like,
Right.
Mr. Fox is showing just how good he is. How much I don't know, how much of a difference is there in the lag? Because I know killing the key hunters can reduce lag on the door transition.
It's pretty noticeable. Um, like yeah, you lose a little bit of time because of how you short charge and the crash animation.
Hmm.
But I would have to say maybe like 2 seconds or so. Like
Wow. That's a bad door.
yeah,
All right, and Toasty's taking on his final boss right now. A bit low on health, but Toasty's been in this situation 1,000 times before.
again, I feel like the super missile kill is
Mm.
just doesn't complicate it as much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that,
fast,
that one
fast.
extra heck you tail swipe at the end.
That's how Ridley lives. That's the only. That's like the mantra that Ridley lives by.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't want that tank if I'm Toasty. Like, he knows, like, he's got free reserves. He can get stand up, no worries. Um, hopefully, I don't want to jinx him on that.
That would probably best not. He's still looking for ammo.
So, uh, he skipped the left side supers there, didn't he? Or did he check it on the way in?
He checked it on the way in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he check ocean missile yet?
He's not. No, he just kind of
Okay.
jumped across the ocean and looks like he's gonna do so now. Hopefully, it's another pack of supers. Yes, it is.
Nice. Yeah, I wouldn't want to check Spooky. That location's scary. When the ship's already been turned on, I think it's actually a good bit harder than like Spiky Room of Death. Yeah, I mean here Toasty 100% has to refill at the ship, unless he wants to rely on the greatest super luck in Turian he's ever seen.
That anyone's probably ever seen.
Yeah.
Just like now with Toasty charging that spark, he's gonna go check whatever is at the criteria power bonds location. Which makes sense. It's not out of the way as or at least as much.
Yes, our runners have already done Gauntlet. Okay, this is a super. That's very nice. Like, as
With
long as it
this,
wasn't a power bomb, it was nice.
yeah, with this Toasty should be super comfy.
Hmm. So that's what, 2 supers to spare?
Um,
No, more than
is
that.
it?
I think
Isn't
it's
it
3.
5?
So, so
Because he
36. 36 for Mother Brain 1. 36 missiles for Mother Brain 1. All those 60 supers go straight to Mother Brain 2. 9, or the equivalent of 9 missiles. So that's 45. Is it 5? Yeah. Maybe, or 10 without refill? Okay.
either way, I think just like I don't know how he feels like in comparison to Fox right now. If he feels like he's behind or has a healthy lead. But either way, I think even then a refill doesn't seem necessary. A refill on
Yeah.
ammo.
I mean, like, Toasty's made all the right checks. The only reason he should feel behind is he did take that death.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so 36 missiles and 60 supers is the minimum with refills. Obviously, you can't just get 36 missile capacity, so it's 40 60 is what people will say. So Toasty died. It was really unfortunate. Checking Norfair Reserve, he tried to Crystal Flash, but one of the seahorses was not having it.
Good spark right there for Fox as he's making his way
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Sure, it was Ridley tank, so maybe it would have been faster. Yeah.
It's gonna get a refill here because he knows that Ridley's his final boss. Or his final G4 boss.
It was a little bit scary there for a second.
Okay, we're good.
Looking good.
Nice job, Toasty.
Nicely done. Okay, and Toasty does want to play it pretty safe. Or alternatively, he wants to play it riskier, I guess. No, yeah, he's going back for the refill.
I mean, anything, like, he has not saved in a long time. I think the only other save that he's had was the one, yeah, right before his death, which was before grabbing high jump at ice.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point, you just forfeit. Like, you wait for your opponent to dot done, and then you forfeit. So to answer a question in the chat, the refill from baby is just a fixed timer. It's not based on, like, the baby doesn't stop once you're fully healed. So having extra E-tanks doesn't make it slower in that regard. Alright, yeah, so at this point Toasty has 5 extra supers to work with, or the equivalent thereof.
Oh, this is a very aggressive mother brain. Holy moly.
Yeah, must have been a sale on onions at the store, eh?
Seriously. That's... Yeah, that's the type of RNG where runs die.
Yeah.
But Toasty had no problem.
Like, for me, if I'm in that situation, I'm almost breathing a sigh of relief. Because no matter how practiced you are with stand-up, no matter how long it's been since you've soft-locked, there's always that chance.
Yeah, gets pretty sweaty. Sometimes I've known runners that end up just taking like all the damage simply because they just want to have Mother Brain damage them down, you know, if they can't do stand up.
Yeah.
And they just want to get themselves down to the 301 threshold, energy threshold. But then they for whatever reason catch up hits for like 5 tanks, and then it can heck up your plans sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I completely forgot because Fox picked it up. Toasty doesn't even have charge, so all you can do there is baby manipulation, which in my opinion is nowhere near worth the added stress. Nearly every time I've soft locked on stand up, it's been when I didn't have charge.
Oh, that's got to be a record, actually. Here we see though Toasty is done with the cutscene and pretty much any moment now done with Mother Brain 3.
This is a really clean fight from him. Like Mother Brain 3 seems like one of those silly things like, oh, having trouble on Mother Brain 3. But then once you're actually trying to do the lag reduction strats, it can get pretty difficult to optimize. Alright, and as Toasty is escaping, Fox is entering Turian. So like overall, like despite everything that happened, Fox put up an incredible fight here. Like this is not a significant, like this is not a huge lead from Toasty at all. Obviously, he will be taking this game, but both of our runners did just a wonderful job today with this seed.
Yeah, so remember to give them a follow.
Absolutely.
Don't think that just because they're speedrunners that you can't follow them. Yeah. They'll definitely get you up to speed. Follow Glove, too. And shout out to the tracker, Siberian. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And follow Antinomy.
Nah, let's not. Even I don't follow me. Let's be honest. GG though, to Toasty.
GG. Finishing up with an official SRL time of 105.20. A very nice time, especially when you consider he had a death in there. Well done. Ooh, Fox missed the baby skip at the end. Well played, though. Baby skip is a hard trick.
Mm-hmm. Especially maybe when, in a race setting when you kind of want to know if the other runner has not done yet or not.
Yeah.
Just like that mental preparation, I think is, I don't know, I feel like that moment is pretty tense.
Absolutely.
Just that, because you don't do anything. Because, the whole game, you're just kind of like in zone and just moving, whatever. And then all of a sudden, there's like this waiting cutscene, and you're not doing anything. Mm-hmm. And you can sometimes get in your own head.
Yeah. Sort of the knowledge, if I miss this, I can lose like 20 seconds or potentially even a lot more if I get all the way to the end and then miss it. All right, and we are joined by Toasty. GG.
Okay, thank you.
How are you feeling about that seed?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Glove. Not bad. I think I had some sloppy play. But the seed was pretty fun. I mean, I guess it was kind of a little crazy, but not too crazy. There was no suitless stuff. Yeah, kind of fell into place there with the waterway right into Himama Turtle. But yeah, pretty interesting. I think that waterway was could have been a real difference maker. And I think I did a really good route. I think I overall made good decisions, but I just sloppy play. Skipping the tank at X-ray was a flat out mistake. I just forgot that tanks are important for hell runs. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
How? I just wonder because obviously it hurts to take a death during a random. Now you didn't lose a lot of time, obviously, but how were you feeling like at that point? Did you feel like behind, or was it like kind of like a no big deal, just take it on the chin?
Yeah, I definitely had to really work to not be a little too salty or tilted about it. It was a bad death. Just I thought I killed all the things in there, and then like that thing knocked me out of my crystal flash. Like I was just like, are you kidding me? Oh, it felt bad, but I really tried my best to get back into it and realize it wasn't the end of the world. It was tough.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really rough seeing that crystal flash. Like, I think especially you can't just have the knowledge of here's the best place to crystal flash in each room. So like to just barely scroll that seahorse on screen, that was rough.
Yeah, that's a live and learn. There's so many things. Yeah, so
For sure. Very well raced overall, though.
yeah, thank you. I think the route was pretty solid. I guess another big decision would be the committing to charge or not. Let me Oh, it looks like Mr. Fox did find charge. Where was that?
Left sandpit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you would have found it. It just it was a little too out of the way when you were pretty much committed to just finding the minor items.
Yeah, I did get lucky with 2 super packs toward the end there. It held out a little bit. It's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough call. I think I accumulated like 40 super packs, or I mean, super missiles, and then I was kind of like, well, I'm pretty close. I'll just kind of go for ammo.
Well, I mean, I did like how you routed in the minor item checks, because even when you had, I think you had already like 3 bosses down, and you were gonna, or maybe 2, but you were just heading over to Lower Norfair. You still had plenty of checks that were in the way, that if they were supers, it could have put you at ease, to be able to finish out the scene comfortably, because you had whatever happens to be in the way in like Lower Norfair, like the Hodorubi room, or the Hodorumi, excuse me, the Franker Z missiles, and then you had Aqueduct, and you had a lot Precious room. I feel like any of that was just really well routed in, so it's not like it costs you anything anyway.
Yeah, that's I was thinking, and yeah, there was kind of a string of a lot of missiles there, but yeah, there, like through Meridia, there's some quick checks there. I probably should have checked Red Tower on my way from Meridia to Phantom. Kind of spaced on that too, and I got lucky. So just little mistakes like that, they can be punishing. But I did take that death. But yeah, yeah, I'm crazy. But GG to Mr. Fox.
Yeah, we just finished right now
with an official SRL time of 1:12:02. GG. Looks like he will be coming in for an interview. See, hopefully the SG bot should have sent it out.
Were there any significant differences with how he routed this one, aside from the charge, maybe?
So Fox went up and checked wrecked ship before going to Waterway. I think that was when you really pulled ahead.
Yeah, that was a tough choice. I was considering that. I don't know what the correct choice is there.
Yeah, that's one that you just kind of have to pick and hope. There was a slight little backtrack that Fox ended up doing as well. When he realized that he skipped the Terminator item.
Oh,
So he was like, I think he was just about done with Pink Prince Star, if not like really close to, and he ended up backtracking, going up the elevator, grabbing bombs, and then headed back down and proceeding like normal down Red Tower and everything.
gotcha. Well, I've definitely done that before. I've forgotten that item more than once.
All right, and we are joined by Mr. Fox. GG.
GG.
Dang. Yeah. I was kind of listening to the commentary as I was waiting for the link, and yeah, I told myself, hey, I need to go get Terminator. Don't forget that. So I figured I'd check all of Big Pink before I went back, hoping that I would find something major that would kind of compensate, but clearly I didn't.
Yeah, it would have been neat if Ridley wasn't at Rex ship, and if after you backtracked to Terminator, you ended up going to Rex ship. I wonder how that would have played out.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you had grapple by that point too.
I did.
But again, like obviously, it's like more often than not, the play to go up Red Tower is just usually doesn't feel super comfy because of the limited number of checks and just banking up Vantoon maybe being there and opening much more. I don't know. Like I can understand why you wouldn't go for that.
Yeah. So all the seeds I've run this week, I've probably run about maybe 8 or 10 seeds this week, just getting ready for this because I've just been having a hard time with them. And from there, I always found that I did better if I did not find Fantoon and Kraid to go down and full clear Upper Norfair if I could. Because typically I'd end up finding one suit and then that would unlock pretty much the rest of the seed at that point. Not finding any suits in Upper Norfair really kind of messed with me. Made me think that I believe Fantoon would be in Rex ship, and that maybe Dragon and Ridley were the only two that were swapped. But yeah, Gravity ended up being at Waterway, so
I also had that thought. It was a tough one. I was really not sure what to do after checking all of Bubble Mountain. I was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I found Gravity, and then it was just like boom, boom, boom. I found 3 really good things back to back to back. It was Gravity, then Varia and Mama Turtle, and then Charge and Left Side Sandpit. So I was feeling pretty good about my loadout at that point. And then obviously, at that point, I had just spent too much time looking for stuff. Just wasn't enough to make up for it.
Yeah, the difference is in routing.
Yeah.
Just we're enough for Toasty to just get that lead on. For the most part, like you were pretty much trailing right behind Toasty, making the same decisions. Obviously, like it felt like that's just what the seed was kind of like guiding you to go into.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah, I can't remember where I found Speed Booster at. I want to say it was somewhere over in Bubble Mountain, I believe.
I think it was like Kraid or something.
Was it
Yep.
Kraid?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, it was Kraid. Yeah. Dang, that would have been a heck of a play. But that's a really hard one to catch when you get a Speed Booster there. Because then your thoughts immediately go to Upper Norfair. Hey, I can go through Frog Speedway. I can go all the way over to Bubble pretty easy.
Yeah.
I think another area where sort of Toasty got a bit of an advantage over you is he had an easier time with Bubble Mountain getting those high jump boots early.
Yeah, he must have. You checked ice right after high jump?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought in my head, all right, I'm gonna go high jump Bubble, and then if I don't find anything on my way out, I'll check it.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, big old slap to the face, finding a high jump there on my way out after checking all of Croc and. But yeah, that was a good one. I mean, if I had cleaned up my routing a little bit, not having to backtrack so much, I think it would have been a lot closer. But yeah, it was just a really oddball seed.
definitely some difficult decision points. Yeah, I would have been really hard to like Cosmic go right to Waterway after Grade. That would have been, and not go down and check all of, because everything's in logic down there. So it's like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
just
and
like 9 hours. Or, yeah, that would have been too Cosmic.
yeah, my brain's a little too smooth to make that connection.
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
Keeping it nice and smooth here.
Yep. Well, GG's, man. It's a heck of a race.
Yeah.
Seeing that you still finished way ahead of me even without charge, it's a hell of a good job, man.
Oh, likewise. Thanks. That was a tough one, and yeah, good race, and best of luck in the next bunch of rounds.
Yeah, I'll get the next 2 weeks pretty easy. I've been racing ever since it opened up, so I'm gonna actually sit out the final 2 weeks.
Oh, all right, right on.
Yeah.
Good
So
luck
that's my
to
last one.
yeah. Good luck to your team, Team 3.
Team 3.
Yep, there it is. Thank you to the runners. Thank you to the restreamers. Shout outs to Glove. Make sure to follow them. Really wonderful commentary. I appreciate having them for a co-partner in this. Really nice done, well jobbed.
Yeah, shout outs to Antinomy as well. Yep. And with that, be sure to follow the runners, follow the Restream team, follow the Speed Gaming network of channels. And that's going to be everything from us today. So with all that out of the way, we'll see you next mission.
Yeah, thank you so much, Steffi and Glove, and the Restream crew. Thanks so much. Fantastic comms.
Yep, thanks guys. Really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun so far. So I really appreciate everyone who's restreaming and putting in the extra work behind the scenes for us to just focus on the randos and just try to do well.
See ya.